Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. We have a very special show tonight. This is our last one before the 2-hour season finale next week. So there's a lot going on in this episode, but first, let's introduce who's here, because you might be interested in that. Of course, I'm Bryan from Good Nerd Bad Nerd, and then from that hashtag show, we have Daniel Jerome. And also from that hashtag show, Sarah Carey.
Hi.
And one of the finest men in uniform, Adrian Pasdar, who's Brigadier General Glenn Talbot.
Glenn Talbot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Glenn Talbot, guys.
I know. It's so cool.
Seriously, this is big. This is big.
If you can't tell, we're pretty excited. Adrian, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Of course, it's happy to, I mean, it's one of the great things to be able to promote a show like this that you believe in, that the writing is so good on, and that the people that work on are so cool.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we're going to get into this episode because you stole the show this episode.
Absolutely.
If we were to poll Twitter, I think the jabs you took at Coulson and everyone else just kind of stole the episode.
I'm a lot to put up with on this set.
So we'll get to that in a minute, but just how is it getting to be a part of kind of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and this show and kind of a cast that, you know, you're doing stuff that's larger in life. I mean, you're dropping lines about the Hulk.
Yeah.
How is that?
It's fun. I think I can parse your question. It's fun. You know, the thing about the Marvel Universe is they're just regular people playing heightened situations, which is really cool. And it's some of the nicest people you want to work with. I mean, Clark Gregg and the rest of the cast, they're just the nicest people in the world. To put up with a guy like this, I'm so blustery coming in. And you can't turn Talbot on and off.
No.
You know? So he's constantly grumpy and fussy and complaining and loud, and everything's about, you know, him and what he needs. And for them to be able to put up with me in the Marvel Universe, the funnest part of this show, for me, actually, is the table reads that we do of every script before the episode that's to follow. And it usually happens at the end of one episode. You'll read the table read for the next. And to have everybody around the table just laughing and loving the script and joking around, the camaraderie on that set is phenomenal. So for me, to be a part of the Marvel Universe, that's actually the best part.
Now, this week you actually got to interact with most of the team. A lot of times, actors who aren't in the core cast kind of, you know, only get to play with one or two of the people. But you were really kind of in the thick of it this week.
You got a big education
You
this
got
week.
you got a lot of info. But who was? I mean, because you were taking jabs at pretty much everyone. Who was the most fun to kind of go back and forth with?
It's always with Clark. And that's the best, because the way they set it up, he and I have the grounded relationship as far as Talbot's concerned. Everybody else is peripheral and antagonistic as far as Talbot's concerned. But the only ally he has in the entire bunker, or wherever they go, is Phil Coulson. So it's always fun to work with Greg. He's made it a great job for me.
I think you guys would have a great buddy cop spinoff. Just the two of you going on adventures.
Well, that episode that we had where we were handcuffed to each other, that was...
Oh, that was...
in the
About 2 or 3 ago, or 4.
Yeah, speaking of that episode, the audience, the entire episode is like not sure what's going on, and then were you a double agent? We didn't know. Did they tell you before you got to read the entire script? They're like, okay, you're not actually a bad guy. Or was it just like you're reading it and you're like, oh my, what?
No, I mean, I don't go into it like that. I kind of go into it looking at it like I'm just playing a person. Good or bad, I mean, I'm there to serve the plot. I always make everybody look really good. Not because I'm that good of an actor, but because I'm always the guy everybody doesn't like that much, you know, kind of thing. So I make everybody look likable in comparison.
You're the guy everyone loves to hate.
Right, and I, you know, exactly. And I don't feel like that in my real life, but it could be a little bit true, I'm not sure.
No, I think you did great. Like you did point out the episode where you two were handcuffed.
Yeah.
Like you said, the buddy cop thing.
Yeah.
It was literally the birth of like people putting you together as a buddy cop. The show was going to be called Tolson. Just Talbot,
Coulson.
Coulson.
I love that.
And then you guys would just go around the world in that flying car, kind of figuring things out. Like, oh, I don't know what's happening here, Coulson. Oh, you listen to me. And you guys are just going through. It would be
Constantly.
great.
We invented, I think Greg's talked about it before, but we invented a moment where we were actually trying to get through the door together. You know, it's that classic moment where you're trying to bump. And Clark, in his inimitable way, it came to him that was called the Shemp.
Huh.
Three Stooges?
Yeah, exactly,
Right, so that
exactly.
would be the Shemp. Try two guys, you go, no, I'll go, you go. And we both go together, you know. But that occurs organically, naturally, because the two of us just, I mean, listen, here's the baseline of it. We're both men of a certain age. And everybody else in the show has tiny waists and high cheekbones. So he's thrilled whenever I come around, because I'm like a guy, whoa, that's finally somebody, you know.
But I mean, also, is there a connection between you two, like as far as professionally, due to? Well, I know you've written and directed a short film,
yeah.
And Clark
course,
Gregg
Clark, yeah.
did what Choke.
Right.
He
What
did
Lies Beneath, yeah.
Exactly, What
Yeah.
Lies Beneath, et cetera, et cetera. That way, where you guys both think on that particular level, so it works well for you two.
Well, that and the fact that we live about 300 yards from each other.
Oh.
Well.
Which
That
we
kind of
didn't know
answers.
until we started working together.
Really?
It's one of those neighborhoods where you just don't meet anybody.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
until you, oh, you live there? Really? Oh, yeah.
Now we barbecue on Sundays.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't even, yeah. I run into he and Jennifer sometimes on the where we run up by the trailhead there. But you don't meet people, generally. So the coolest thing is that we get to talk about our neighborhood together. When we're on set, we're like two old ladies. Can you believe so-and-so did that? And she's planted that in front of her house? That's just ridiculous. And they took that tree down. I can't believe there's got to be a code on that.
You guys are like VP and president of the HOA of your neighborhood.
In our mind.
Exactly.
We don't participate in any conversation with the rest of the neighbors.
Okay.
The two of us kind of like having tea and bitching about the neighborhood. You know?
That's amazing.
Which we actually did a couple of weeks ago.
Just
We
have a
had
little tea
lunch
party
and-
together.
yeah,
And
yeah.
So we're gonna catch up with you at the end with some questions from people on Twitter and in the chat.
Okay.
But talking about the show, we always start off with kind of the state of the team. Where are we finding them? And that's literally why you show up. With everything that has happened in Captain America: Civil War. Don't worry, no spoilers.
I haven't even seen it yet.
You're talking about the
I know.
Sokovia Accords.
Right, the Sokovia Accords. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but you're there to find out what is going on. What's the team? You even have the line, "You've shown me the good, the bad, now show me the ugly."
And to register them.
Yeah.
Or try
yeah.
to register them.
And so we find our team kind of in dismay after kind of a butt whooping last week.
Absolutely.
Mac, who is kind of turned into the team punching bag, especially after stuff this week. It's because he doesn't have a shotgun axe, guys.
I'm telling you, that's it. That's it.
That's his ultimate protector. Did you know that his character has a shotgun axe? No.
I don't even know what a shotgun axe is, I'm sorry to say.
It is special to Mac. It is just a shotgun with a giant axe handle on it.
I was going to say,
I mean,
I'm so
it's-
stupid. I'm so fast at some things to be so slow at others. Shotgun axe.
I know.
It
Boom.
came
It's
out of
magic.
survival. Just he had to tape it around, and all of a sudden he shotgun axe, and then that was,
love it.
the world
Yeah.
was happy about it, and we all rejoiced.
Of course, he's so big, I don't know if he really needs a shotgun or an axe.
Exactly.
I firmly believe, and like you were saying, how the writers are so great. They, weeks before, I think early this season, there was some comment about Mac having a shotgun axe.
Yeah.
And I think the writers picked up on it. Because that moment was, yeah, Twitter, shotgun axe.
Yeah, you get it. We know.
But so we also, Lincoln, who threatened to burn off your mustache, which, come on, Lincoln, leave the mustache alone.
Really?
Yeah.
The towel stash. Come on, man.
It's very fancy.
We did get the question answered, is his immune system gone completely, or is it going to come
No.
back? And they did answer that.
It came back.
It came back.
He's
He was
healthy.
fine.
He's ready to
There you
go.
And
Had
so,
to give the best Emmy-winning performance of his life.
yeah,
man.
he had me fooled.
I had
was
no
like,
idea.
Oh, Lincoln, what a jerk. And so he
Puppy
looks like
love.
he's betraying the team because he's so in love. And then it turns out he played us all.
With Daisy?
Yeah.
With Daisy
that whole
and that whole
thing.
thing.
Who wouldn't be in love with Daisy?
I know, she's beautiful.
Exactly. I mean, you know, she says, "Hey, go do something." I'm like, "Okay, all right, fine."
Like,
You
I
know?
get it, okay.
You know, she's like, "Hey, take that doll from that kid." Yes.
Sure, okay.
You know,
Now
am I gonna say
what?
no for? Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you need.
Would you say you feel the earth shake when she's around? That's right.
Brian.
I like
Right.
it. There you go. There you
Point
go.
for me on cleverness. I'm sorry, I'll leave.
Goodbye.
That's why I'm not a writer on the show, because I am not clever.
He comes up with quips like that.
But we also see that Fitz is actually a pretty badass hacker or computer guy.
Yeah.
Fitz is just badass.
There you go.
I mean, I love the guy.
I do too.
Ian's one of the greatest. You know, he's just smooth as they come and still ready to inhabit who he is. He doesn't try to pretend, you know what I mean? He's just
Right.
one of the greats. He's really a good guy.
Well, and him and Fitzsimmons have been fan favorites for so long, and they're finally getting to throw off the chains of destiny that has been trying to keep them apart, and now
That
the
has
only
been shackling them to
Yeah.
their fate.
now the only thing that kept them apart this episode was May walking in on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But yeah, no. So
May.
May.
Party pooper.
She's been serving some realness. She's giving some rules. She's giving life lessons. She's not taking guff.
Ming doesn't mess around. Ming, no, she don't mess around.
Oh no. Oh no.
how much does she? Because she is so focused and hardcore in the show.
She's just trying to remember her lines.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask, as soon as the camera's off, does she like completely?
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
No, I'm not. Everybody who's watching who works on the show will know exactly what I'm talking about. She's the most beautiful, talented woman in the world.
That's what she's doing. She's busy just, all right, this is what I have to say. I've got it. All right, what's the
I'm
name
gonna
of
get
this line?
punched so hard.
And from May, that
But
could
for
kill
May,
you.
it's actually, I'm looking forward to it.
I know.
So, and this kind of ties in with the state of the team, but the whole debate that you and Coulson are kind of having really does tie into the basic premise of Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust Coulson to not register his team, or do they need to be registered and be under?
Well, that's the whole thing. As head of the ATCU, I'm representing S.H.I.E.L.D. on the front, as far as the government's concerned, and he's protecting his people, and we all know what happens. I mean, I have to agree with in personal, when you start registering people,
Right?
come on, man. We all know where that ends up, and that's not good.
Team
So
captain.
I have to argue the point where we're just trying to protect. We're trying to make sure we can, validate and protect everybody's existence and make sure that we're not missing anybody. And but he's like, mm-mm. And he's got the winning hand. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta give it up for him.
So, if you guys are in the chat, let us know. Are you Team Cap or Team Stark? And throughout the week, if you guys aren't watching it live with us, use the hashtag AOSAS and let us know what you think, if you're Team Cap or Team Stark. Really quick around the horn, Daniel.
Team Cap.
Sorry.
Cap.
I play Iron Man
Exactly.
and I'm Team Cap.
See? Brian?
Team. Well, wait. If I'm on.
Let me clear that. I don't play Iron Man. I'm just in the Avengers comic, so you're not thinking I'm out of my mind. I do the voice.
You do the
for
voice
the
on the
Avengers
animated
Assemble.
show. Yeah.
Yeah. No. If I go Team Stark, do I get like War Machine or my own armor? Because if I did, I'd be really tempted.
But you're qualifying now. None of us had
We did?
questions.
I know. Yeah. We
I
didn't
know.
have the,
We just had to
I know. Team Cap. Team Cap.
See?
Yeah, we're all
Yes.
Team Cap. Up here for Team Cap.
Yeah.
We're Team
Boom,
Cap,
that's
right?
what I'm
Team
saying.
Cap.
Let's get reached.
And to the viewer at home.
Boom.
Boom.
So okay, let's get into some of the kind of the big stuff that's going to pay off next week. Hive's plan
yeah.
and his creatures, which you and I actually shouted out the wrong name. We were like, he meant
that's true.
deviants, alpha primitives.
There you
So
go.
I don't know
these
what
are
that is.
these kind of like zombie things that Hive made that Lash got to toss around like punching bags.
So I let them nerd out and I sit here and learn
Yes,
things.
this is and now a time for comic talk. Alpha primitives were essentially a slave race of the Inhumans that were created to serve the Inhumans. And I think this is exactly what Hive wanted. He wants a planet full of slaves. I think, is that fair to say what we learned the plan was?
I would think so. And one of the things I had some blowback on was I called Lash the Lash. And it wasn't Lash, it was the Hive. Oh, Now, everybody said you can't call him the Hive because it's just Hive. But I think if you dig deep into the comics, it originated as the Hive. Now, is anybody out there, can they qualify that? Can they confirm that?
I think
if you go back into the 50s, you go back into whenever it was, in the beginning of the century, it was the Hive.
See,
not
there you
Hive.
go.
Okay. Like the Facebook?
Right, exactly. And then it got dropped.
Twitterverse, get on that. Let us know. Hashtag AOSAS.
Curious.
Oh yeah, and if you guys are over there,
but even just
looking.
thinking about it, it is a hive of parasites. So you could say, man, the hive is going to infect everyone.
Well, that's what I kept saying, and everybody said, it's Hive, don't say the. It's Hive.
I think this is kind of a regional thing also. Like out here with freeways, we say, are you going to take the 210?
Oh yeah,
the 405.
Yeah.
What's the only city in the world with a the in front of it?
I agree.
What's the only city?
what is it?
City of Angels.
No.
What is it? No? Are you guessing? Got a guess?
I'm done.
Come on, guys.
Go. You got it?
We're failing local
Yeah,
check.
exactly.
Like it's actually a street here? Is that what you're saying?
No, the
it
only
is-
city
The
in
only
America.
city in America with the?
The Bronx.
Oh, we are failing.
You want to know why? Because I heard about a rumble in the Bronx.
In the Bronx. Silly.
Bravo.
Okay, so he stole a nuke.
Oh, yeah.
People think the Hive
How
sounds
is
better anyway.
how is that not?
Bad?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of horrible the fact that it was so easy to, hey, what's happening? We automatically knew that, okay, he's going to have some big, weapon that's going to ruin everyone. And it was like, what was it? What else could it be? A nuke. How easy was it for him to get a nuke?
Seemed pretty easy that it was done and we didn't even know. I mean, it was like, oh, yeah, you know what? We were.
I mean,
Comic book.
It was out on the loading dock.
but it is
and
Hydra.
just-
own little
I mean, it
universe.
is Hydra, so, I mean.
Now, that's a question for, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when you just had a moment on, Facebook
On the
video
screen.
chat where you took out Hydra. You literally were like, yeah, hey, Coulson, I'm just gonna take out Hydra. You guys, you've had a chance. I'm just gonna do it.
I said it's a huge moment, and here we are. We're taking out Hydra. I'm not sure what they cut together. Like I said, I feel like a vegetarian butcher. Like I work in the business, but I don't watch TV. Not because I have anything against it, but I'm raising 2 kids, and I just don't have my life. I'm working. I don't have time. So I don't really know what ended up on the episode. You're better informed than I am.
It's you're like, hey, Coulson, this is gonna happen. We need to get on board. And he's like, yeah, sorry, we got this
he had
thing.
something else going
Yeah.
on.
This other thing,
Yeah.
and it's like more important than like
It won't be
simultaneous
more important. You
worldwide
started
strikes.
this. You got to finish it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always cleaning up his mess.
Hello.
That's how it always works.
So I had an epiphany that since we know there's this death that's coming in the 2-parter next week, and it's an explosion in space, and we just saw a nuke.
Or
I
Warhead,
think
someone's
Mac
correcting
is gonna Iron Giant this.
Seriously?
Don't.
Yeah, he's gonna Iron Giant it. It's gonna happen. Iron Giant, the animated, the very end, he flies up into space to stop the nuke from hitting. And
I did that in a little show called Heroes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
did.
The
I
end of
believe
season 1.
so.
wasn't it?
Yeah, you did.
That is correct.
You did.
I know, but I can't say what happened.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll never sit on this couch again.
Yeah, that's so true.
Exactly.
because Marvel actually does have a hit
power.
squad.
They do. They can
They
look
wear
at.
suits though.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. One, I feel like with Yo-Yo giving him the necklace this week, it makes it even more obvious because you called this weeks ago when we initially saw it when the season started.
Yes.
That's what happened. We saw the necklace in space, and then we met Yo-Yo, and we're like, she wears that, but then maybe that's too obvious. And he's like, well, she's gonna give it to somebody. And I said he was stupid. I told him that was
clear,
not,
given
that was
writing
dumb.
where it's like, oh, I am so, connected to you. I want you to hold something.
The necklace has big powers.
It does.
Oh yeah, see? Put your hands over the necklace to him.
But then that's like such a
There's
big...
no benign anything in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's
No.
nothing.
I just want it to be sneakier. So I don't want it to be him. Also, I love him. We all know.
I think it is going to be sneaky. I'm just going to say this. I'm going out on a limb.
So who do you think's going?
I think it's going to be May.
I think it's Mac.
I think it's May.
Ooh,
I don't. Here's the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it.
I don't want it to be May.
I know.
I love May. I love that she is the voice of reason on this team. Everyone is invested in all this stuff, and May is like, guys, chill out.
She also just lost her husband this week.
True.
Again.
Like completely this time.
Yeah,
As
that's
far
true.
as we know.
Oh, that big dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lash.
Yeah.
You mean-
Dude, he actually is huge.
Rasta
he's
Hulk.
right.
Oh my
Rasta
God.
Hulk.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
He's a big MF. Man. He's just up there, and you look up. Oh, okay, all right. We're gonna act together now.
Great.
Just me being little and you being tall. That's basically
Yeah,
what's
that's it.
happening.
We're here.
I'm terrified of you. Yeah.
So before we cut to a break, let's talk about that. Rasta Hulk versus the Hive. Because you know what?
The
got
Hive.
it.
Let's call
We
it the
have
Hive.
it from Adrian.
If
It's the
anybody
Someone
can
says the
qualify
wiki
it.
says the Hive.
They do?
Wikipedia says the Hive.
There you go.
Vindicated.
There you go.
I saw it in
The
a
Hive, the
rolling.
general.
Never.
I'm only the general where I'm wearing that
Rogue
outfit. I
Destroyer.
couldn't carry that
I'll
attitude
show you.
around all the
Rogue
time.
Destroyer says, guys.
Yeah.
The wiki calls him the
The
Hive.
Hive.
There you go. There you
we
go.
go. That's it.
So Lash clearly is OP, overpowered, when it comes to dealing with Hive. And this, once again...
But what? Oh, I can tell you.
Oh, there's so
Such
much.
a tease.
So much.
You hear that humming?
What's Lash's prime directive?
His prime directive is to bring a level of balance. And that's what we saw happening when
Right.
he went ahead and pretty much pulled the spores out of her. And,
Is he
that's
there
when
to
got rid of
destroy
her.
or protect?
I think what
I'd say protect.
was it Fitz or Simmons? I think who said Lash's role may have actually been to save Daisy. That's why he was here, was to
Yeah.
protect Daisy. That's why he didn't kill her really early on in the season, and this is why he stopped.
So then Daisy's
Go
way
after
more
her.
important than we even
Saving her
realize
for
at this
something
point.
else, or
Or, yeah, that's very true. I love this. I love this.
I wish I
right
could
there.
say.
Right there.
We wish you could too.
I know.
Exactly.
No, you don't.
I know, we want to see it.
Look at the time. We have to go to a commercial break. Okay, guys, we will be right back. But if you're in the chat, give us your questions. Sarah is on it.
I'm on
and
it.
We're going to be doing that and some of the questions from Twitter. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And remember that hashtag AOSAS. We'll be right back. You're such a tease, man.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live. In case you missed it live. How did we not figure that out?
High five.
We had a crazy vampire threesome, and you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now. I was like,
You know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes.
Look at me, I'm dancing.
He was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is quite something.
And we're like, inseparable.
These hoes ain't loyal.
you just went to a totally different direction on that one.
I love it. That's genius.
Billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
This might actually be a thing.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
Are we there yet? Can we talk about this?
We've been waiting all night.
I don't know.
I don't like to break nails.
You can't count anything out.
It's been another awesome night at the Stream.tv, guys.
Thank you for joining us, you guys.
There's a lot of history.
There's, these...
I just told everybody everything. But I put the mind meld on them, so now they can't remember.
Yeah,
It's like the Men in Black.
I don't
flashy
even know
thing.
what show we're talking about anymore.
Exactly.
But that's okay, because you're going to remind us, because we're going to the Twitter
Oh.
Twitter.
The Twitter.
The Twitter.
Daniel, what have you got?
All right, well, starting up on the Twitter, let me go to, yes, our friend Stephen Giampa.
I love him.
We love you, Stephen. We love you. Well, Adrian, of course, he has a question. What has been your favorite scene to film on so far for the show?
I'd be like picking a favorite slice of apple pie. I gotta say, one of the favorite scenes I've had is one that I've never seen. It was it's where the Quinjets are all. Did that air? Is that tonight? Or is that next week? I can't. We're in an empty stage. It's all green screen, and it's just the actors and the Quinjets. There's like 5 of them taking off. It's like there's a bunch of. It's crazy. It's all special effects. It's when
that might be
Henry
gets. That might be next week.
Is that next week?
Yeah,
okay.
Next week.
Does not sound familiar, so I'm going to cut you off. So
Yeah, we
that's
don't want
fine.
Was
No,
it
who
filmed
knows?
recently?
yeah.
I didn't give anything away.
No, not at all.
You're like, it was just really cool.
I like that.
It's really cool.
All right. Wait, is that
Kage Yojimbo.
okay?
Kage Yojimbo.
Kage Yojimbo. I get it. It's kind of, Sake Yojimbo. Kind of. Okay, I get it. Gogo from YouTube. Question: does General Talbot answer to Thunderbolt Ross behind the scenes?
If you go back into the lore, we work together, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't think General Talbot answers to anybody, but clearly he has to answer to somebody.
The president.
Yeah, the president, right? Let's say the president.
let's say the president.
In terms of he'll argue with anybody.
Well,
Unless he gets a direct order from the president, I don't think he's going to take it.
Well, and even just within this season, your character got a promotion.
Yeah, they made him a brigadier.
Yeah. So, congratulations there.
ATCU and the whole thing.
Corner office.
right?
Yeah, imagine him in an office.
No.
He would go crazy. His office is like a tank.
Well, there's that one scene where I'm in the office.
Yeah.
Looking at lawnmowers. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's right. That was interesting.
Lawnmower.
You know what? Because
This is what I'm
he's
gonna
just
have
a
when
regular
I'm time
guy
off.
who is the head of an alien
Happens
task
to
force.
be, exactly.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Things happen. All right. Well, this is actually a special tweet from Natalia. She plays Go-Go.
Yes.
Yo-Yo. I'm sorry. What's
Yo-Yo.
Go-Go? Because someone else was Go-Go.
Yeah,
Go-Go's.
She's the best.
So she says, I could watch Clark Gregg and Adrian scenes forever. They make me laugh so hard, tears drip down my leg.
It's because she's crying so hard she can't stop them. They just keep going.
Okay, all right. Well, working with them did the same. So she's just letting you know.
We had a great time. She's such a beautiful, talented, one of these women who just, you look at and you go, oh, I better give her a little space because I don't know what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? You just got to give her a little bit of room.
Right.
Because she presents with a lot of energy. But the beautiful thing is it's potential energy. Do you know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, that first interaction you two have together in this week's episode,
In the hallway?
She is not intimidated by you whatsoever. And that is, she's like, you're a general, so what?
There was a great line in there that they cut. She says what she says in Spanish. And I walk. Clark tries to interpret for me, and I go, I have a maid. I know what she said.
Okay.
No.
But it's so
That's
perfect for
Talbot.
him. That is.
Talbot.
It's not prejudiced.
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
like delivered with animosity. It's just fact. He's like, I have a maid. I know what she said. Of course, that didn't make the cut.
But that,
Just like it probably won't make the cut.
That goes back to
Exactly.
the episode a few weeks ago where you're like, you're in the ceremonial costume or wardrobe.
Right,
yeah.
And you're just like, it's like, why do I have to wear this? It's like,
Did you guys know about the line that got cut?
No.
I'm walking up there and I go, as we're walking up the steps, I go, it's all, whatever I said, it's all loosey-goosey down there. And he says something, I said, my boys are confused. And he says, you can change after the reception. Until then, can we please not talk about your boys? That got cut.
Oh, that's fantastic.
At moments for me, Talbot just feels like that drunk uncle at Christmas time.
Yeah,
You're just like, oh no, he doesn't mean any.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
It's a different
time.
What's he gonna say? I don't know.
It's a different time. Also, Natalia does say, because we tweeted back to her and said, well, you know, he's gonna be on the show, and do you want to say hi, or do you want us to say hi? And she immediately says, yes, please tell him I said hello.
She's
so
the best.
she wants
Please
to
tweet
say hello
back.
to you.
I'm right here. Hello. Natalia, thank you for being the world's greatest. She was fantastic. I mean, everybody on that set, they were so warm and so receptive. But working with the actors on a day-to-day basis, when I come in with this blustery Talbot, it's not easy for anybody to pull up. Even Clark is like at a certain point going,
It's like this guy.
yeah.
How many of these fun little quips do you come up with on the fly?
No, none of them.
Really?
Well, maybe a couple. But, no, but I mean, for the most part, it's the writing. The writers are phenomenal.
I just love that he's like stuck in 1950 and talking
Yeah.
about like, what was that pie line tonight? Do you remember?
What'd I say?
It was,
I just remember the juke
it was
joint
a-
at the beginning, or something like that.
Gin joint.
The
gin joint.
Gin joint.
It's just like
It was about Lash. It was like, why you crusty pie hell or something like that.
Oh, what in God's crusty pie or something like that. Yeah.
Like, I was like, where does that even come from?
I don't know, but you know what? We're bringing it back.
right, exactly.
When something crazy on the
The
show
whole
happens,
time.
like hashtag crusty pie hell.
What on God's crusty pie are you talking about?
There you go.
So
God's
great.
crusty pie. That's it. Oh, and
last one.
Last one actually refers to this right now. We have Rogue. I can never say her last portion.
Lucario?
Is it
Lucario?
Lucario?
Go for it.
Sure.
All right. Well,
us
she says, I have one, which is the question, of course. Were the scenes with the sick burns fun to shoot?
So
Because-
where you're going around and you're taking
one-liners.
jabs at everyone, the one-liners.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's endlessly fun. But like I said, everybody gets a little tired of it after like the third or fourth take. And
They're
I'm
like,
still,
we get it.
And like I said, there's no off switch. So I gotta, and I get back to my trailer sometimes after a scene and I just go, oh, God, I'm such a, everybody hates me.
But it's not you.
I know,
It's
no.
not you.
No, I know, really? I'm gonna make it through, right?
You're gonna make it.
You're
got
gonna be
this.
okay.
You're gonna be okay.
It's gonna be fine.
It's a lot of work, not just for me, but for the people I'm working with to put up with what I bring. But for it to make the cut and for it to be interesting, it has to be constant. So full court press, man.
Oh, of course.
I can't,
You know, I think it works though, because if you.
But it's more of a testament and a tribute to the cast that has to deal with me than it is like an accolade for me having come up with it. The fact that they put up with it, it's a long day with a guy like me. And I keep trying to tell them, can you imagine what it's like to be me? I can't leave.
Right.
You get to go. I'm stuck with me.
Does everyone think that you are this like
No, I
cranky,
don't
gruffy
know.
guy when if they like run into you on the street, they're like, oh,
I don't
he's
think
gonna
so.
hate me if I say hi.
I know, my wife and kids roll their eyes. They're like, oh, Dad, really? You're so
guy.
pretending to be some tough guy. I'm like, but that's what they pay me. I'm an actor because I thought, eat your peas.
Eat your peas. Talbot says eat your peas.
Sarah, what's the chat saying?
So people are throwing around a lot of fun theories right now.
Okay.
And they're wondering about the odds of Talbot actually becoming an Inhuman or already being one.
Well, I mean, if you go back to the lore, yes, he gets killed, with, and then he comes back, but it's not him. He's an Inhuman, but he actually believes that he's, and he has the memories of Betsy and the whole thing, right? Right?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's
So-
exactly it.
If we're gonna,
I'm
I mean, if we're going to go into, the funny thing is, I told the story once before on a talk show somewhere a long time ago, but when I got the job, what was in Times Square in Toys R Us with my youngest son, Beckett, and my friend Jeff Loeb, who you know, called me and said, Adrian, we need you to come and do this thing. Well, we'd like you to come do this thing. And I said, what is it? And he told me, he said, the character's Glenn Talbot, and he's the kind of guy who only sees things, his way. It's his way or the highway. He's kind of a butt plug. He's kind of one of these guys who just kind of, doesn't really, it's not. And I said, so this a compliment or we thank?
Thank you.
So I'm the only guy who can play this part? He said, yeah, but I said, listen, let me go talk to my son. I asked Beckett, I said, can we go to the comic book store on 40th Street? Can we, the Midtown Comics?
Yeah.
and he said, Dad, we got to go there. We got to talk to them. We got to find out what Talbot's all about. We got to read the history. Until we do that, you can't say yes or no. So we went right to Midtown Comics, and they brought out they have stuff they have in the dungeon, books. They went into the lore, and that's where I learned the history of Talbot.
Oh, nice.
So I know a lot more than anybody else, I think, about Talbot. However, I don't know that they're going to incorporate that in the present universe. So because they're reinventing the character. Now he's a Brigadier General. So whether or not he's going to become an Inhuman, he has a brother too. How about that?
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Scott, if I'm not mistaken, he has a brother.
Okay. Whoa. I didn't know
Anyways, there's
that.
a lot of history that they may or may not incorporate into the lore.
Can we just say, everyone, real quick, how impressive that is?
Seriously.
You're like, okay, this is the character. I'm going to research him first.
You've got to.
Yeah.
But so
Oh no,
well.
comic book fans. I spent enough time at the cons where I got it. You know, if you don't know your stuff, you're gonna get slapped. By the. They ask you questions you don't know. You got to present. You got to know what your deal is.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm terrified of not knowing stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta do my homework.
What else do we have?
They want to know what our thoughts are on it being Daisy, actually being in the Quinjet, and what that will do to the team if it's her. I haven't thought about it being her, to be honest. I can't imagine them choosing her.
I really
I know
don't
you have to stay
see
silent.
Who wouldn't choose Daisy? What was the question?
To be the one that
To be the one in the actor.
It's just messing with us. Going back to the comics, and I just really can't see them choosing her. She's Coulson's protege and May's protege in so many ways. They have been grooming her to take over. It would, I think, the emotional hit to the audience would be huge. And they're going to get so much life out of this next 2 weeks just from people talking about it and debating it and questioning it. But I don't see it happening. Now, based on Lash saving her for a purpose, that plays into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that, but I want it to be something else. I want her to have different purpose.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, I mean, she's very important to the show, and her continuing on, there has to be bigger and greater. She's a director at one time in the comic, and then even besides that, I mean, she has yet to hit her full potential, I guess we'll say. So there's a lot that needs to happen for her. When we started the show, she was there, and it was very important for us to find her. Yeah. Remember, before she was Skye the hacker, and I forgot what's the name of the hacker.
The Rising Tide.
There you go. And it was like, that was a big worry. And then after that, now we moved on, and now she's Daisy and the connection with her. This show is running with a through line of Daisy, or Skye, aka Daisy. So to see her die, I hope not. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's it. We're good.
You agree?
I agree.
Gee, Sarah, you are so long-winded. Stop it.
No, sorry, guys.
Okay, one more. Last one. Anything else?
Okay. Hold on. Oh, someone looked it up. He has a brother named Brian.
Brian, thank you.
That is a good name.
Who was that? Who found it?
That was Martin. Martin Civet.
Martin,
I always do this. One day you're going to have to write it out phonetically for me.
Yeah. Martin, thank you.
So, okay, back to you.
Back to you.
Well, I think we've got a pretty good handle on this week's episode, but you do a lot of stuff besides this. A little music on the side.
I play with a band from TV. It's a band, a bunch of guys, Greg Grunberg from Heroes and Star Wars, and my son said a funny thing the other day, and I can say this because I told Greg, but we were at BAM in Brooklyn Christmas, and we saw Star Wars, and Slade's known Greg for years, and he said after we walked out, he goes, "Dad, he was in an X-wing fighter. Shouldn't it have been like a double X-wing fighter?"
Ooh.
I told Greg. Yeah. Of course, Greg tweeted it out right away. Boom. Double X-wing fighter, because he owns that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg has the biggest, best heart of anybody I've ever met in my life. One of the greatest guys in the world. So I play with him. He's our drummer in our band.
Oh, that's awesome.
Scott Grimes, Jesse Spencer from Chicago Fire, Jamie Denton. A bunch of guys. We play Bob Guinea. It's a great band. We've raised nearly $4 million for charity over the last 12 years, which is a lot of money.
Wow.
In anybody's wallet. I mean, that's that's
Wow.
good. So that's big. Basically, the stuff I've been doing on the side has been that,
Also,
charity stuff.
On that note, on a personal note, I guess for me, my ex-wife's father-in-law is epileptic, and you guys raised money for the Rush Epilepsy Center in Chicago.
Chicago.
They actually contributed and paid for a majority of his last 3 treatments
Is that right,
and
Daniel?
surgeries.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
That's awesome.
I just want to
No,
say
I gotta say that would be. I'm happy to be a part of that, but that's all Greg. Greg has been tirelessly working on behalf of pediatric epilepsy and epilepsy for everyone.
Yeah,
because his son has epilepsy. So he's just one of these guys who's endlessly devoted so much of his off time toward raising money and awareness toward epilepsy. That's all Greg Grunberg right there, man.
Wow.
I'll pass that along.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely. I'm glad it had a
truly
positive
appreciate it.
effect.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's wow. Going on besides that, just a little bit, just more on you. You were on Top Gun. Now, there's a story that goes with it that says you were 19, you auditioned, and with the audition, ultimately, they were so impressed by you, they wrote the character of Chipper. That's
I
the
don't know
story
if it
goes
was that they
way.
were so impressed by me or if I completely pulled the wool over their eyes. I'm not sure, maybe a combination of the 2 things. But I remember Tony Scott saying, you're the right color. You're the right color. We're painting a picture here. So big penises in the sky. Rock and roll. Turbo thrusters, testicles. Rock and roll. Let's go.
That's the most amazing description.
How was that not the poster?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I remember,
we did have the volleyball.
And what a guy! I mean, he was so present and so he gave me that part. I was there. I was either behind Tom or next to Tom or in front of Tom or whatever, But it was watching these guys make that movie. It was like, essentially, what do you have? You have the shoot down the MiG, you get the blonde.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
much.
in 1985, that was actually true. That was kind of like, that was our political landscape. I mean, that's what we dealt with.
That's right.
But they were walking around in our ice cream suits on Miramar and being able to go up in F-14s and, you try to get excited over a bowl of Haagen-Dazs or a roller coaster after having gone Mach 2 over San Diego upside down with your hair on fire. I mean, it's just like, they took us and it's an amazing feeling to go up in those things. And they're retired now, the F-14.
Wow.
But it was quite a moment. And they were such good guys. I mean, all of them. Tom, everybody was a wonderful crew. And they were so close to making the second one, I think, when Tony jumped off the bridge. It was just one of those things, man. It's hardcore. Ooh. Now, I'm sorry to bring it down.
That's right.
Let's bring it back up.
You also, you're about to start filming again on Colony.
That's correct. Yeah, we're gonna. It's a great show in USA. It's a real-time envisioning of an alien occupation in Los Angeles, not dissimilar to the Nazis occupying Paris. And so, basically, the assumption there was if we can. We're supposed to wrap up.
Oh, you call everyone on their shit.
Basically, if you can go out to the cafes and see a movie and walk down the street while we're occupying your city and be cool with that, that's how it's going to be. And that's what the Nazis kind of said. If we can let them live their lives normally and still stand on the street corners, we can govern this city. That's kind of what happens with the alien invasion. It's a really cool story. Season 1 debuted on USA just this spring, and season 2 will be in 2017. We film starting in January.
Oh, very cool.
July, sorry.
Awesome. Well, we are out of time, but
I could tell because the guy went.
So, is there anything like to plug, like for the your band? Is there?
Band.
You
I
know-
got so many things, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we love it.
Let's plug Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right?
Marvel. Let's plug Marvel.
Yeah, hey.
So,
finale.
guys, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the questions. 2-hour season finale next week, so keep an eye out on when we will be going live, because obviously it's going to take us 2 hours to watch the 2-hour season finale. So,
And we'll come on right after that.
Adrian, thank you so much for spending
Thanks,
time
man.
with us.
It's great to be
And
here.
Like always, I'm Brian from Good Nerd Bad Nerd. We've got Daniel, Sarah from That Hashtag Show, and this has been the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show on the Stream.tv.
Whoop, whoop.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Where are they going?